Okay, so I'm taking this class with the Primogen, learning Rust, and it's fun. But this is a Vim tip that he shared. Well, he didn't even share. Just watching him use Vim is fun because you pick up a few like, wait, how did he do that? Moments, several of those throughout. But one of the things that I thought was super cool was the YAP. So, which means yank around paragraph, and I have yeah. So before I get into that, too many of the details, I want to show. This is the. I've got two windows open. I'm using lazy Vim. There's a couple of things I want to preface this with. Vim has motions and operators, so change, delete, yank, and there's several more to know about. As well as Vim has what they call a text yank post. Yes, this is a new feature. And notice that I'm using Shift V for a visual, and then if I hit Y, it's going to highlight. I'm currently using Lazy Vim, so it's kind of already configured, but this is a built-in NeoVim function, so you can research into this and adds this nice little highlighting after you visually select something, you know, and then yank. So if I have this whole thing and hit Y, boom, get this big flash. So helpful, hopefully, for this case. That also said, there are a couple of things around. So P stands for paragraph. And then when you get into, so you have the motion, the operators like change and delete and whatnot. You also have these kind of text objects or various kind of types of text. And I don't know these in and out by any means, but you have P for paragraph. You also have a section. We also have these text object motions. So sentences using the parentheses, the squirrely brackets or squirrelies for short. You could be for paragraphs. So one way that I often navigate my code is doing kind of the open and close brackets. I didn't really realize that they represent paragraphs, but by doing this squirrely brackets it goes in between paragraphs. And if I just down, 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 up, up, up. And one of the key things about paragraphs is that you have a defined, like a truly kind of empty blank line. So it's going from blank line to blank line. So if I continue down, 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 the next line that it's going to do is 8 lines down from here, which is right here, because it's a blank line. If I go back up, so that's the range of paragraphs. So that is the range of paragraphs. Another idea are what we call blocks. And there is kind of like a round block or inside block. You can also, you'll notice that over here you can use A, B, like B can represent the block, or you can use these, the regular brackets for blocks as well. There's, you know, when the T, so like a tag block, it gets in a little more advanced cases, but things to, you know, consider. But yeah, just knowing that you have paragraphs and sentences and sections and even one last one, we call them classes. Now it depends on the syntax or the class that you're in. Kind of this block M exclusive motion, something to look into. Sorry, as well as like the C, rather than using M. I've also found that you can use C. So let me show you, now that I've kind of gone over some of these basics. One of the cool things that Primogen did was he was around in some code or whatever, inside even, and say he wanted to select and copy this whole thing. Well, without, you know, you could move up with a really slow way, 3, 3, you know, up KKK, capital V, slide down, and then yank. That works. Of course, if you're already at the top, you can just do yank 3J, or no, sorry, not 3, 5. So yank 5 down, and that will just register that whole thing. You don't have to highlight. If I do V5 down, that highlights it, but then I still have to hit yank. A little bit of a pain. I could also just do D5J, that deletes, undo that. But from inside, he did this YAP, and boom, yank around paragraph. Well, again, separated by blank lines, it's already there. Now, another idea is that you have blocks. So from this line, if I did a block, blocks are kind of, from my understanding, designated between like a regular bracket or curly brackets. So from here, if my cursor is here, if I do, I could do VIB, and you'll notice that it's this, well, maybe the highlights are not as strong there. So let me do YIB, gives you a sense. So YIB, and you can see that it's moved inside. If I do YAB, then it's grabbing the brackets inclusive. So if I just did from in here, if I do YAB, and if I do Shift P to paste it, here, this is what I got. So it includes that. But if I do YIB and then go to the end, paste, I get this little portion without the surrounding brackets. Another thing to consider, if I scroll down, and here I am, if we did, again, if I do YIP, we're grabbing the whole paragraph and my cursor moves all the way up. But I don't really want that. If I wanted just everything inside here, but I did not want the surrounding brackets, this would be one of those moments for like inner block. So I want to yank inside block, and now I have all that. I'll scroll down and I hit paste, and you'll notice that I have all the inner content. So that's a pretty good example of kind of block versus paragraph. Another idea is the class. So if I did YAP, it's only going to grab the first paragraph, basically from one blank line to the next blank line is kind of your mark, your separator. So if I wanted to do more, I could do, well, I can kind of manually visually look at this and be like, okay, there's 2 more paragraphs. So I could do I could use the count. So I could do 2 YAP, and then I've grabbed the 2 surrounding, or 2 paragraphs. Not as efficient. There's a better way. If I wanted just the code, and my cursor's here, and I just want the impl contains for circle and everything there, the actual code, then this would be a great time to consider using the class. So if I do YAC, it just grabbed everything from that. And if I paste, you see that I grabbed it all. Another idea, if I % goes back, if I wanted just, again, I want contains, I just want this part. Well, because I'm inside of this block, I could do YIB, and grabs that, or YAC for the whole class. YIC will grab this inner function. Got it so far. Now this one, here's another example. Much more to it. It's got quite a lot of line spaces. So just navigating by paragraphs, which is again the squirrelies, it takes me a few skips to get down. Obviously, general navigation, Control D, Control U, much better. If you need to do this weird scroll without moving the cursor, you do Control Y or Control E, grabs it. And so one last little helpful deal, after we grab what we want from the class and everything, or inner class, we can also, if I wanted to target this individual sub function, this inner function, we can use the function F key to target that. So for example, if I'm just inside here, anywhere, and if I say YIF, then I've grabbed everything inside, but not including the function signature. So this part right here with the parameters and whatnot. So again, YIF will grab everything inside of the function. YAF will do all of that. So again, obviously we can not just yank, but we can delete as well. You know, you can do, if I'm inside and I do CAF, for example, I'm changing around function essentially, and now I'm already in insert mode and I can completely wipe that out and get typing. I can undo that. If I wanted a DAF, that's fine. Maybe I like the signature, but I want to completely redo it. I can do DIF, and now I'm left with this, or CIF to go straight into insert. So lots of options with this. Found this really helpful. The class is certainly worth a look if you're interested in TypeScript and Rust. Primogen's fun to watch. Very obviously skilled and experienced developer, but for Vim, always fun learning some of these tricks and just to navigate and be a little bit more precise and efficient with your Vim motions and whatnot. So hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time.